Hey everybody, this is Josh, and this week I've got something a little bit different. I'm doing a 4-part series on, basically I'm just transcribing an entire song from start to finish. And I wanted to do something from Pokemon Red and Blue, so I chose Professor Oak's theme. And it's going to be fun. This week I'm going to transcribe the melody, and next week I'll choose one of the other voices and so on. And then for the final week I'll do like kind of an analysis and a wrap up of the process. But I hope you guys will enjoy this. So let's get into that. So this week I'm working on the melody, and I've got the time signature set to common time, and the no key signature listed, because I haven't gone through that yet. But let's take a listen. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So this is in common time, and now to check for the key. I've got my guitar here. Alright, so we're in the key of B. B has 5 sharps, so I'll just drag that there. Alright, so now to get on to the actual notes. This first part. 1 2 3 4 1 2. Okay. It's pretty quick. I'm going to slow it down because I'm lazy. It just sounds like an arpeggio. Okay, so that's 16th notes, by the way. If you're wondering how I know that, I can't talk while I'm trying to do things at the same time. If you're wondering how I know that's 16th notes, basically what I do is I'm always counting in 8th notes in my head constantly when I'm transcribing. And basically, I keep saying basically, what happens is if a note lasts for more than an 8th note, longer than an 8th note, I add up the amount of 8th notes it took for me to count that out, and that's the note value I get. And of course, kind of going the other direction, if more than one note fits into that 8th note space, then it's just math. So with this tempo, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So an 8th note would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And counting in 8th notes here, 1 and let me set the tempo back to normal. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's doing those 1 and 2 and those 16th notes. So just it's really helpful for me to count like that. All right, so that's what we got here, and all right, and I'm gonna put a little bar line right here to indicate that this is the start of a new section. And actually, this kind of messes up the way I have my bars grouped. So let me, I kind of grouped them out before I started recording to save time, but didn't realize that was going to mess that up. But I think everything else will be grouped in kind of, phrases are typically grouped in 4 bars like this. But because the song starts with a single bar to kind of introduce the song, make that a little smaller. Then the proper melody starts here, and you get your 4-bar groupings. It'll make sense when we start writing it down. Yeah, and I always try to keep my bar line and breaks windows open at all times when I'm transcribing, at least in MuseScore, which is the my notation program of choice. It's useful. All right, so on to the next bar. All right, so this is the first part here. Alright, so we just climb it up the scale and back down. Do 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 do. So those are eighth notes. Alright. And you notice right here, I put down 2 eighth notes because I'm going to tie them together. Because if 2 eighth notes equal a quarter note, a quarter note would be fine here, except for the fact that you always want to make sure the middle of the bar is very clearly seen. You can easily divide this group of 4 notes here, these 2 eighth notes and this quarter note here. There's a very clear division of the center of the bar, which makes things much easier to count. That's not entirely a hard rule. It can be broken if you want to really bring home a certain stress that you're trying to make to your performers, but in general, you want to make sure this middle of this bar line is very easy to see, and it just makes things very easy to count. Because, like, you know, I could do that, but, and you can count that for sure, but if you're, the middle of the bar line is in the middle of this note here, and if you can clearly see where that is, it's really nice for counting, and for sight reading and things. But enough of that, I'm going to continue. And the next part sounds like that an octave higher, so I'm just going to do that. I could put a little, where's my lines? One of these here. Which could make things easier to read. Some people prefer to see the ledger lines, which are, you know, all these things. Some people prefer that. Just whatever you think works best. Alright, next bar. I'm talking too much. That's interesting. So we have B, A, G sharp, A, B. Sorry. Let me try that out. Ah. And I'll get the next bar too before I explain this. I'm not sure if I can copy paste that. I'll just drag another one over here. And there's some nice staccato, like I mentioned. So I'm actually going to put these right here. Alright, I'm just going to paste that here, because I've got it happening again. I could use a repeat sign, but I'm not 100% sure if the other voices are following that exactly. And just in case they're not, I'm just going to paste it here. And, because it'll save me time later if I find out that they're different. But what I thought was neat here is this A natural. It's a flat 7 in the scale. It's not in the key. But it fits so well. Like, I never even realized it was out of key because it was so smooth. That's going to be interesting. I'll talk about that some more when I analyze this in part 4 of this series. When we have the harmony and bass parts here to help come up with some more solid ideas as to why this A natural shows up and why it works so well. Alright, so we have the first 4 bars of the melody, Just kind of playing around with just, you know, a few notes. Not a lot of notes, and it's a really very memorable melody to me. Alright, so after these 4 bars, let me see. Alright. I love this part right here. So so it's a dotted quarter here at first. Yeah. That's the first bar there. Huh. There's that A natural showing up again, and again it sounds incredibly smooth here. I didn't even notice it. That's gonna be real fun to analyze. I think I know what's going on. And we just have quarter notes here. Do, 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 do. Aren't quarter note melodies nice? We have that kind of octave up thing again. Also, by now, I think I have enough information to say that this is in the key of E. I need to put a key change marker there. It's so smooth. That's possibly one of the smoothest key changes I've ever heard. That's incredible. I mean, the keys of B and E are very, very close together, which makes the change easy, but wow. Like, it's clear that it's resolving on E. That's pretty awesome. Alright, let me grab this here. Let's... yeah. Scroll up a bit. All right. So we have that sort of rhythmic pattern repeating. So we start on a D. I'm sorry, an A natural. Go down to F sharp. And D sharp. We have this cool kind of chromatic thing. Oops, that's a dotted. That's nice. Yeah. Not quite that high. It's the third, not the fifth. Alright, so it seems to me that at this point, it just loops back to bar 10 and continues on from there. And unless the harmony or bass parts are different, that's where I'm going to end it off. So let me delete these extra measures that we don't need. Put a little repeat sign here. And cool, that's the melody right here. That's really neat. So, in part 2, I will be transcribing the bass part, and I will explain why I'm not doing the harmony first in that video. So thank you for watching. If you got any questions, you can let me know in the comments or email me at ongakuconcepts@gmail.com. And I'm looking forward to part 2. See you then.